Please raise your right hand. Computer forensics student Tanya Phagan is suing her ex-boyfriend for damages to a vehicle. Defendant Sean Robbins says he paid for his crime.
Ms. Phagan, you're saying that your boyfriend, or former boyfriend, Mr. Robbins, operated your 1990 Cadillac and got in a multiple car accident. Is that right? You seek compensation.
Yes, Judge O'Brown.
Now, Mr. Robbins, your defense was that the accident was not your fault. You say you were going through an intersection and someone ran a stop sign.
Yep.
So you first, please, ma'am.
Basically, I arrived home December 15th, 2008, late in the afternoon. Shortly after I got home, about 10 minutes later, Mr. Robbins arrived at the residence. He had stated that he was hit by another vehicle and that they left the scene. And about 5 minutes later, the police arrived. They came in, they asked me if I knew why they were there. I let them know, yes, there was a car accident. I let them know that I was not driving. They asked me who was driving. I said my boyfriend was. They asked where he was, and the defendant, Sean, was in the kitchen hiding by the fridge, you know, going, no, you know, don't tell him I'm here. And I let the officers know he's right over there. They came in, they took him outside to do a breathalyzer test, amongst some other tests that they perform for DWIs.
Looking at the report, he apparently called you to get an attorney. You weren't able to give him an attorney's number, and then they offered him a phone book, etc., etc. Round up, he did not make any contact of counsel and apparently refused to take the test.
He didn't call me for an attorney either.
Anyway.
He called to beg and plead, you know, for forgiveness.
Well, they noted that he didn't mention anything about an attorney during their monitoring of the call. All right. Did you get an estimate on the repairs that would have been necessary to restore the vehicle?
I was not given this vehicle back because he was claiming that I allowed him to drive. But I have witnesses, you know, that were bringing him to work, bringing him home, bringing me places. And
well, that really isn't on point for what this is about. Okay, now, you say amongst your request for damages, you should be compensated for a brand new set of tires that were put on this vehicle 2 weeks, 14 days before the accident, you say.
Correct.
So now, why do you say he stole the vehicle?
He was not given permission to drive that vehicle, nor any vehicle that I had owned.
Well, how
while we
many
were
did
together.
you have?
I had 2 vehicles in the period of time that him and I were together.
Well, did you have two vehicles at the time of the accident?
No. No.
Just that one?
Yes.
Why did you exercise the option of taking that money that should have been applied to insurance and acquiring a new set of tires?
I was also working on getting insurance through an AUA program to help me cover that.
Why would that be the case?
I just really didn't have the money for all of the above, and it needed new tires
but it
on
sounds to me like the vehicle was being operated between you and the person you were cohabitating with.
I was the only person driving the vehicle.
So you drove him to work?
Prior to that, yes, I did. And during the period of time when I was not able to afford the insurance on it, I had provided him with a bus pass to get to work, along with, you know, the help of friends and whatnot.
Well, you're the one with 3 kids, 13, 12, and 10. Why would you be putting it out for him? That doesn't make sense.
No, it's not that I purchased it and he couldn't afford it. He had a job. He was helping support the household. I just
Your
happened
3 kids and you, and
Correct.
no driving privileges.
Right.
We'll be back with more Judge Joe Brown in a moment.
Point I'm getting at, yeah, drinking and driving, I did wrong. The accident, I was hit, but I realized I was drinking and driving. I did my time for it.
8 months.
Yep.
You still haven't gotten beyond it yet.
When he was released, he did nothing but continuously drink.
We're back with Judge Joe Brown. The plaintiff in this case says her ex-boyfriend took her car without permission and crashed. She says she later discovered the defendant had been drinking and driving, and he did nothing about the damages. Let's take a look.
So you are assigning a blue book value to the motor vehicle, which amounts to, what is that?
$14.75, I believe.
$14.75. All right. And I see that you're being proceeded against by the insurance company representing one of the other property owners who had his personal property damaged in the accident to the extent of $14.5320.
Correct.
All right. We'll go to the defendant. What do you have to say about this?
Well, it wasn't the first time I drove that car. Drove that car quite a few times. Drove the other car we had too. I didn't steal no car. The point I'm getting at, yeah, drinking and driving, I did drown. The accident, I was hit, but I realized I was drinking and driving. I did my time for it.
8 months.
Yep.
Now, that's not what they usually give for a first offense.
No,
That wasn't a first offense.
Let's see. We've got a lot.
Well,
I'm looking at,
I got 4.
if I'm not mistaken here, that's a 20-page rap sheet. It's a record that shows a lack of good common sense.
And he did great in the 3-year period of time that we were together. I mean, he wasn't in any trouble. And
Well, are you aware of his background?
I was partially aware of his background. I didn't become completely aware of it until after the fact.
It's like continual foolishness.
Yeah.
What's wrong?
I was just drinking. Too much drinking. Can't drink no more. That's where I was. Drink, get in trouble. Get out, drink again, get in trouble.
Have you been through a rehab program?
Yep. They put me in treatment when I was locked up.
What did treatment consist of?
It was 5 days a week, going through the classes, doing all the paperwork, this, that, doctor coming in, checking me out.
And
Now,
when
you still haven't gotten beyond it yet.
when he was released, he did nothing but continuously drink.
And when's the last time you had a drink? How many hours ago?
How many what?
How many hours ago?
It's been more longer than that. I haven't drank.
It doesn't matter whether or not she allowed you to use the vehicle, because in any event, I'll assume you didn't purloin the vehicle. That still creates what they call a bailment. What's a bailment? That is an obligation that arises when you take or use the personal property of another to return that personal property to that individual in the same condition in which you received it. Now, you were not able to do that. So the blue book value of the vehicle, $14.75, is apparent. I've got the claim from the insurance company relative to your property damage responsibility, $14.5320. I'm not going to allow the $250, $252 for the tires. Your recovery is going to be $29.2850.
Thank you, Judge
This court
Sobran.
is now in recess.
Well, the defendant in this case made a lot of poor decisions. He decided to take the car without permission. He decided to get behind the wheel after drinking, and he decided not to pay his ex. It's the judge's call now, and she gets paid. We'll be right back. We're back. The defendant claims that he's had treatment for drinking, but didn't deny that he's been drinking since that treatment, and it has led to a host of problems, this time for his ex. She gets her money.
For information on future cases or to contact this court, check out our website at judgejoebrown.com.